thing about this man is not afraid. I tell you what, not afraid. He's not afraid to ask the company for good contracts. So can I hear what? Good contracts. He's not afraid to fight for the retirees. What? Yeah. Okay, no more tears, right? Yeah. Okay, let's see. So record profits mean what? Record contracts. Y'all been listening to Shawn Fain, I can say. That's right. So, there you go. So this man, like I said, that I'm about to bring to the stage, he's not afraid to ask the question. He's being transparent. He's telling you more than you ever know. Hey! Have y'all seen ever in your life the members demand? If you take the time, that's never happened in the history of the UAW, that the membership saw what the union was asking for.
Amen. Amen. And that's real right there.
This is a new union, it's your union, and you better be ready to fight. Okay. Like I said, he's not afraid. He's not afraid. So coming to the stage is your president, our president of the International Union, Shawn Fain.
Before I get rolling here, I want to recognize a few people that are here today. People that have been fierce allies of us, people that have been members that have busted their ass for us. And one of the fiercest allies we have in the state of Michigan is Congresswoman Debbie Dingell, who's right down here. Let me assure you, there's not a day, the day I was sworn in, she's one of the first ones to reach out to me, and every time I've been in D.C., she's always one of the first ones to speak up, and she's a voice for us and always has been. I want to recognize some people that drove a long way that aren't from Region 1, but they drove here to be here. I see some of my friends from Local 2209 in Fort Wayne, Indiana over here. That's pretty awesome. Shows we're all in this together. Want to recognize Brother John Morgan, the Stellantis National Bargaining Team Chair. And Ed Smith, the GM National Bargaining Chair, who are both here. And for all this going on today, there was a lot of planning on this from Director English and our organizing team and a lot of people. But Local 160 member Jesse Kelly, and our national organizer, Tracy Romero. These people have been busting their asses to make this happen. And also here today, it's really awesome to see, we got AFL-CIO for the state of Michigan, the head of that, Ron Bieber, one of our own. And I'm definitely going to recognize one of our former presidents who's here today. He's an advocate. He's always been a staunch UAW member, and the thing I love about him is the day he retired, he didn't take off his UAW shirt. He's the same man he was as president as he is today. But Bob King is here today. I know we got also Oakland County Executive Dave Coulter. Joe Nwegala is one of our state legislators who's been a fierce fighter for us. Veronica Kleinfeld, another state legislator who's always there for us. And Henry Yanez, Sterling Heights City Council. Oh, and also Brenda Lawrence and Mary Waters. I'm sorry I haven't seen everybody here. My God. Right
Brenda Carter. All right.
Oh, Brenda Carter. I'm sorry.
All right, Margaret. Thanks a lot.
So UAW family, I'm tired. I'm tired after 29 years as a member of this union, and I know you're tired of watching things go backwards. And we're here today to stop that. We're here to turn that around. I'm tired of us being blamed for everything that's wrong with the big three. We're not the problem, we have the solution. We are 25 days away from the deadline. And this is our generation's defining moment. This is our time, and I know damn good and well, this membership and this leadership is fed up. We see these corporations realize record profits while at the same time we've been going backwards. These corporations have recognized $250 billion, $250 billion in profits in the last 10 years. We went backwards. In the first 6 months of this year, they just reported earnings of $21 billion. Again, record profits are continuing, and it's because of the work our members do. What we've been experiencing is the economic realism that these companies want you to accept. They want you to accept that they make billions in profits, that the leaders make millions in salaries, and we continue to live paycheck to paycheck. That's unacceptable, and we're going to change that. You know, recently one of the COOs stated about our bargaining, I'm going to quote this, "It requires a focus on reality, and we need to work together." Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about reality. Let's talk about temp reality. You just heard a temp talk to you, a 5-year temp. Who deserves better? Let's talk about the members right now that are working critical status. Let's talk about their reality. 90 straight days. No day off. Let's talk about the reality of our retiring space. You heard a man come up here earlier. I see retirees right here in the front. They've had nothing for over 17 years. They're the reason we're all here, and they deserve better, and these companies owe them. Let's talk about the reality of jobs disappearing. If we don't lock down this EV work and this transition, it's going to continue. Let's tell our workers from Belvedere Assembly, from Lordstown Assembly, from GM Powertrain in Warren, Michigan, Ford's Romeo Engine Plant, Trenton Engine North, Marysville Axle, Toledo Machine. As a matter of fact, let's talk about the 65 plants that have been closed or spun off in the last 20 years. That's what this company calls working together. And working together does not work for our membership. We've made it our mission to end tears. A divided union will not survive. We're demanding pay increases equivalent to the 40% raises that the big three CEOs have given themselves in the last 4 years. Your work and your sacrifice has created these massive profits, and our members deserve more. You deserve your equitable share in those profits. We demand to significant state cost of living allowance. It's been suspended for 14 years. We received 2-3% pay increases in the last 4 years, while inflation's went up 19%. We're going backwards, and it's got to stop.
Now's the time! 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 Now's the time!
So if you watch here recently, one of our demands has gotten a lot of attention, and the talking heads are having a meltdown over our demand for a 32-hour work week. You know, this is all about, it's a 40-hour work week, Monday through Friday, but everyone gets a day off every week, and I'll explain this in a minute. This is all about work-life balance. You know, we have to have a life outside of work. And I find it interesting as these talking heads were having a shit fit over us saying that we think we should deserve less working hours and a quality of life for our members, we deserve that there was a study that just went on by Deloitte about financial workers in the financial industry here recently. And part of that study was these workers, since COVID hit, have been working remotely predominantly. They go to the office maybe 2 days a week. And when they surveyed these people, they said if they had to show up to work at the office 5 days a week, 66% of them would quit. Also, when they polled them, the one thing they found was by working remotely and having more time off and more time to focus on things, 75% said their relationships with their children improved. 70% said that relationships with their spouses and partners improved. Over 50% in every relationship category improved because of that. So the talking heads, when we talk about that, are saying, yeah, that's right, but the financial people are college educated. Well, you know what I say to that? Big fucking deal! Many of our members are educated. Our members were deemed essential during COVID. We had to show up and we lost our damn job. Our members were expected to risk their lives, and some of them sacrificed their lives to keep the economy moving during these times, while the educated people sat safely in their living rooms working from home. And I don't begrudge that, but I'm going to tell you right now, damn it, we deserve the same treatment. Our lives matter too. Our members work 7 days a week. A lot of them work 12 hours a day. We're forced to critical status for 90 straight days. There's all kinds of stressful work schedules we endure to deliver a good product for the consumer and high profits for these companies, and you deserve your share of that. You know, work-life balance, it don't just affect the physical body, it also affects our mental health. When workers are busting their asses 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, something's got to give. Something else is sacrificed. And what you're sacrificing is your health, your family time, you know, your rest. How many people get 8 hours sleep a night? I know I sure as hell don't. You know, no time for pursuing your hobbies. Americans work harder and longer hours than any nation in the world. And you know what? There's something to be proud of that we work hard. But damn it, our lives should not evolve around working all the time. As we're having this conversation, you go to the headquarters of the Big Three. Most of those people are still working from their living rooms the majority of the time. Or there's one particular that's been working from Acapulco while we're in bargaining. And they want to tell you about economic realism. Bullshit. One question, why the hell isn't our time as valuable as any other white-collar worker in this world? We're human beings and everybody's time matters. They're criticizing our working family protection program. They say we want to go back to the job bank. Let me tell you something. They keep repeating. I heard Mark Fields, the former CEO of Ford, repeat this same lie recently on the media. They keep regurgitating the same lie that was told back in the economic collapse, in the recession. They blame everything that ailed these companies on our contracts and on the UAW. And we know it's bullshit. And let me tell you right now, the job bank was a good program, and our workers, Walter Reuther once said, nothing breeds unemployment like unemployment. When a factory lays off 5,000 workers in one town, it affects thousands of workers on down the line. That's what the Worker Payment Protection Program's about. And the worst part of this whole lie that's been spun by the corporations and by the media is simply this. At the same time, in the economic recession, and today when they're still bad-mouthing us for that program, they were celebrating Toyota for not laying off their workers and letting them do community projects. It's a jobs bank. It's the same damn thing. We've been criticized for demanding pensions for everybody and raises for our retirees and retirement health care. How dare we do that? How dare you demand, as Walter Reuther said, when you get too old to work and too young to die, how dare you demand that you have some semblance of a freaking life when you retire? Retirement insecurity is a massive issue in this country, and it's got to change. Not just for us, for every worker in this country. And we've got to lead that fight. We've got a serious problem in this country. It's a double standard. There's a standard for the millionaire and the corporate class. They have their own set of standards. They all get pensions. They don't even need a pension, but they still get a damn pension. They have top-rate health care. They work remote. They get to enjoy their families. You know, the list goes on of what they get. And then there's the standards for the working class. We're expected to settle for the scraps that they offer just to be happy that you have a job. I don't want to hear that talk anymore. We deserve this. You deserve this. So UAW family, those days are over. They're behind us. I've been told throughout this thing that we've set expectations too high. You're damn right we have. Because our members have high expectations, and record profits deserve record contracts. We deserve it. Our goal in this round of bargaining is to end the continued race to the bottom at the altar of profit. I want to make this clear. Our plan is not to strike. We don't want to strike. That's not our plan. But our plan is to get an agreement where our members get their rightful share of equity. But taking into account our expectations and the company's continued desire to push the race to the bottom, I can tell you right now, doing all this during the greatest economic expansion in our country's history, we have to plan for every possible scenario, and we have to be willing to do what we have to do to get there. You know, recently I quoted a statement by Malcolm X. You know, and when he spoke about freedom, he talked about people saying they believe in freedom, but in the next breath they tell you what they won't do to get it. So I got to ask, you know, how far are you willing to go to get the contract you deserve? That's right, family. We're going to get it done. We're going to get it done by any means necessary. The days of letting the companies set the narrative with the media are over. We're going to continue to be vocal about our issues. And the difference for us is we're going to put the facts out while they continue to put the bullshit and spin. And I want to assure you, all three of the vice presidents, Secretary Treasurer Mock, your IEB, we've been meeting weekly. We held a retreat for a week to go through the members' demands of what you deserve. And I want to make one thing clear. Bargaining isn't a one-person show. I've been in office for 4 months, but I'll tell you, I've been through national negotiations. This is my 5th round. We know the ropes. Between the vice presidents, between Secretary Treasurer Mock, between your national negotiating committees, between your staff, and between this membership, I want to assure you we have a plan. Our plan is to bargain like hell and get the best deal for our membership. And we purposely haven't picked a target because all three companies need to understand that they all three need to bargain at the same damn time and bring the same justice to all of us. And I'll tell you what we need from you. What we need as events unfold, we're going to need discipline among the leadership and among the rank and file. As things unfold, we're going to reveal our plan. And as things continue to develop, we're going to keep it rolling. But as a union, we have an obligation to lead the fight. The fight for economic justice. Not just for ourselves, but for the entire working class. If we don't lead it, no one's going to. You know, I love what I see right now, and I love we're all united in these issues. It doesn't matter if it's retirees, if it's tips, whatever it is, this is the goal. We got to end tears, and we're united for a strong contract. So UAW family, look around. All we have is each other. And we have everything we need to get great agreements. Let me assure you of that. You know, there's a Bible verse I speak about, my favorite verse. It's Ecclesiastes 4:9 through 12. When it states, 2 are better than 1, for they have a greater return for their labor. If one of them falls down, the other can pick them up. But pity the person who falls and has no one there to help them up. Though one may be overpowered, 2 can defend themselves. A cord of 3 strands is not easily broken. UAW family, that's what solidarity is about. So if your name or your local is called, be ready. If everyone's name and everyone's local is called, be ready. We are done sacrificing our physical and mental health at the altar of continued race to the bottom under the guise of competition. We've got 25 days to the deadline. So I got a question for you. Are you ready to rumble? I see another soldier force walking the door, Congressman Rashida Tlaib. And I want to close by saying this. I know you're ready to go. I know you're ready to rumble, and I can damn well guarantee you so is your leadership. I want to say one thing. I want to end with this. The race to the bottom ends on September 14, 2020.